Hello and welcome. This is Ashley's Heart Song on the Win-Win Women TV network. This is the place where we get out of the stress and back into our body, our life, and our business. When we tap into the song of our heart, that is when we master the mind and the stress that can steal our life. So happy you would join me for today. Today's show is all about change, y'all, and how change is just a natural part of life. And we can either respond to this change or we can react to it. Whichever one we choose determines the health and vitality of our body. So I'm thrilled to welcome you into today's show by beginning with our vitality score. So vitality, your vitality this week, we want to get a score for that. Here we go. We want to get a score for the vitality. So let's start with mentally. Mentally, where are you today? Starting your week off, where are you mentally? Are you clear and focused? Our scale is from 1 to 10. So if you're clear and focused and on point, then you are probably scoring around that 5 to 10 range, probably 7, 8, 9. But if you feel unclear, if you feel like your thoughts are halting and sporadic and you just can't quite place your finger on what that word was in your head, then you are probably going to be scoring between a 1 and a 5. Then let's move in, write your score down. Now let's move into the emotional body. Emotionally, where are you today? Are you balanced? Do you feel in harmony? That's going to score you closer to a 10. Or do you feel a little edgy? Maybe ruffled feathers, moody? Then you're going to score closer to the 1. Write your score down. Next, we're going into your physical body. Physically, where are you today? Are you strong? Are you feeling like you have the energy to get through your day and everything just to go smoothly? And at the end of the day, you think, wow, what's next? Because you have so much energy, meaning the good kind of energy. That's going to score you in that higher point system around a 10. But if you happen to feel fatigued today, maybe you don't feel quite as strong. Maybe you just really would love to just take a nap. Then that's going to score you anywhere from that 1 to 5. So put your score down. And now we're going into the spiritual essence of you. Spiritually, where are you today? Spiritually, do you feel aligned? Did you take time today to align yourself, to get centered, to connect? If you did, and you feel that way still, then you're going to score between that 5 and 10 marker. But if you happen to have jumped out of bed and hit the ground running, didn't pause to connect, didn't pause to get an alignment, then you could be feeling closer to the 1. Add those scores up. Add all 4 scores: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Top score is a 40. If you are from a 25 to a 40, keep pressing on. You've got this. Notice where you're scoring low, and this week attend to one of those areas and see if you can level it up. And then if you are scoring under that, then that could mean that you are either 1, just starting your journey into self-awareness and self-development and growth. It could mean you are experiencing a major life shift, and right now it don't feel so good. And if that's it, then you are at the right place, because today's topic is all about change, the change that we experience growing through our life, going through our life. And we as women tend to have a lot of changes that happen for us. You know, we've got our childhood where everything is rosy, and then all of a sudden our body starts doing this funky thing, and we start changing, and we go through that change of becoming a woman, and we think, a woman? Wait, I'm only 12 or 13. What is this about? And then you experience all of that, the many changes that happen in that stage of our life. And then we get in our 20s and we feel like, oh my gosh, I am invincible. I am woman. I am strong. I've got this. This is easy. Life is so easy. But then maybe you get in a relationship, maybe you get married, maybe you have kids, and there are changes that are all inside of that. And in those changes, they can be thrilling, they can be giddy, those changes can also bring some tough stuff, some shifting that maybe we're not comfortable with. Then we're experiencing all the changes that our physical body goes through each decade. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And when you get up into those 40s and 50s, your body begins to really change at an alarming rate, at a rate where you think, oh my gosh, is this a foreign alien object that I've got, that my spirit is housed in? You all of a sudden feel as though maybe you're just not yourself anymore. This is a big change. This menopausal change that we women go through can be very disconcerting. I do want to just say it can be disconcerting. You know, when we have been through every change in our life and we've been able to keep up with our body, or maybe we didn't. Maybe early in life, maybe we didn't keep up with our body. And maybe there was some slack there. Maybe there was some physical abuse. Maybe there was a disjointed relationship you had with your body. So then now that you're going through menopause, it really feels like you are at war with your own body. But all of these changes, y'all, just represent that, just a change. And I am so guilty of when a change happens, I can get all in it, because as much as I love change, I hate it all at the same time. I would really love for things just to stay how they are. But then it's thrilling to have the change. So there's just like this, it's like we're trying to balance between the two worlds of staying the same and of shifting with the change. And what today's show is all about is us just to really just be truthful and honest and go, yeah, some of the changes are tough. Some of them just stink. But then again, how can we, the second part of the show is about how can we walk through these changes with calm confidence, with assuredness, with right thinking? How can we go through these changes with ease and grace? I'm going to be giving you several examples today on the different ways that we can go through this, through all these changes. So whether you are in your 20s, maybe your teens and 20s watching this show, you are going to be experiencing changes and life shifts. And hopefully these little tips that I give you will help. If you're going through your 30s, raising those kids into 40s, going into your 50s and 60s, you know all of these changes that are happening. And what we get to do is just really be real with this and be okay with our reactions. Be okay with the reactions and just know that it is normal. We are normal, y'all. What is normal? What is normal? So let's take this opportunity to realize that change is not an obstacle. Change is a doorway into new possibilities. So let's just first understand that because of change, it gives us the opportunity to change and to grow, excuse me. It gives us an opportunity to grow. Now, growing is not always super fun, but there's always an ice cream with a cherry on top at the end when we do this. Our body is going to be changing metabolically, physically, the way that it builds, the way it restores itself, the way we process not only our thoughts, but our emotions. It's all going to shift and change. Toby Mack says it really, really, really well. Sometimes in the winds of change, we find our greatest direction. So even though you could be going through some changes right now, just know that more than likely it is turning you into that direction that is going to be for your highest good. Your highest good. You know, I go to church on Sundays, and there is this sweet man that always gives me a hard time because I tend to walk in once church has already started. So I'm not going to say the LATE word, and you're going to find out why I don't say that. But I do typically walk in after it's already started, and it's not like 30 minutes. It's just, a couple of minutes. Everybody's already sitting down. But at that time, you can always see what available seats there are. Well, I will walk in and he will say, "You are late again." I mean, literally, things are going on at the front, and this man turns in his seat and he looks at me and says, "You're late again?" And I said, "No, sir. I am exactly on time for my highest good to be here." He looked at me. He goes, "Huh." He didn't have anything to say after that. But it's just an opportunity, y'all, for us to realize that when changes happen, when things happen that we're not ready for, that we're not um, aware that is going to happen, anything, it could be for your highest good in order to find that greatest direction for you in that moment of your life. So instead of getting all up inside of the messiness of the change, right? Getting all in the muck of the change. Instead, we can take a hawkeye view, rise out of it, and ask, what do I need right now? And we can ask very specifically, what does my physical body need? What do I need to feel emotionally balanced? What do I need to feel? Pardon me. What do I need to feel clarity in my thoughts? You can get very specific. And the beautiful thing about these questions, when you're in the muck of something, when you have just landed in that muck puddle and it's knee deep and you're in your rain boots, and when you try to pull your leg out, the rain boot sticks and it just wants to suck you back in. When you find yourself there inside that muck puddle, if you can simply pause just for a second and ask yourself a question, you're going to find that everything begins to shift. When we stop the mind from being inside the muck puddle, reciting whatever it is our mental mind wants to say in the moment to make us feel even worse, if we just have the power right then and there to stop and to ask a question, what does my physical body need right now? In order for me to feel better, what does my physical body need? And then you stop and you wait for it. And what you'll notice is that then your mind has shifted from sucking you into the muck puddle into problem solving. And when we give it that shift, that moment, that 30 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever it is, and we give it that time for it to shift, that is when not just solutions arise, but it enables us to tap into our other two brains. That is the beautiful thing about that pausing and getting our brain to shift course direction, is it gives us that chance to tune into the heart space and tune into the gut brain. So the other day, I got in the muck puddle. Something happened in my world, something happened, and it happened at a very vulnerable moment. You know how sometimes things can happen and it's like, oh, you just rise up and you go on and it's not a big deal. But then other times, if it comes in at just the right moment when you're a little vulnerable, how all of a sudden it has you and you find yourself knee deep in the muck puddle. That happened to me the other day. And I was in it and I went, okay, this doesn't feel good. I heard my brain. I was witnessing my brain and everything my brain was doing. And I went, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Hold on, sister. And you know what the words that came to me were? If you were a client, Ashley, what would you say to that client right now? And I went, this is rich. What would I say to a client right now? If I was the client and I was on the phone doing exactly what I was doing, what would I say? And that gave me the moment to pause and to begin, okay, what tool am I going to use? What am I going to do? What is for my highest good? What direction can I shift to that will be for my highest good? And it was the most beautiful thing because I went from all out Mach 10 with my hair on fire to peace in just a couple of minutes. Complete ease and peace. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. It's really fun when I get to be the client to myself for a second and witness what that does in that moment when you get hijacked. So the question process is so valuable, and I give it to you as a gift. I give it to you as a gift because for us women, as we are shifting and going through changes, it is valuable to have a tool that can change everything in a moment. We are on a launching pad. When we enter into a change in our life, we are on a launching pad for the next big thing. And when we can just pause on that launching pad and recognize, I'm on a launching pad. I am about to go big. I am about to solve this. I am about to feel restored. When we're on that launching pad and we realize that we have the power within to do all of that, we can then set up for that launching pad and go, I'm ready, and launch ourselves off of it into that change of life with confidence, with ease, with grace. We don't have to fear these changes and these shifts that are coming. We can simply stand on that launching pad with confidence, ask ourselves that important question to help us course correct, and then we go for it. We go for it. You are launching into the next segment of your life. What do you want it to be like? Do you want it to be with ease, filled with joy, laughter, connection, community, romance? Do you want it to be filled with financial freedom? If you do, then pause when you've experienced that shift. When you feel yourself going into reaction, you pause, you're on the launching pad. What question are you going to ask yourself to course correct? Joel Osteen says you have to make up your mind at the start of the day that nothing that comes your way is going to steal your joy. Doesn't matter what stage of life you're in. You make up your mind at the start of your day that this is the way it's going to roll, and you map it out how you want it to roll. And then you just follow it up. Don't allow anything to steal your joy. When we're in that place of logically thinking of that question, so that whatever came in isn't going to steal our joy, ain't going to steal our peace. When we're in that place, that gives us that space. I mentioned this just a second ago, but I want to dive in just a little deeper to it. It gives us that time and space to tap into the heart. So if you know your heart song, but your heart song is like your mission statement, y'all. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than this world. It is expansive. So if you know your heart song, then in that moment of after asking that question and feeling the shift in your body, in your chemistry, going from stress state to relaxed state, when you're in that place, you can recite the song of your heart. And once you've recited the song of your heart and you begin to feel that within your body, you may have to repeat it several times with feeling and with gumption and all of that good stuff. And when you are there and it is starting to exude out of you, just bubble up, bubble up, bubble up, that is when you can go, okay, now I know what I'm here to do. What is my next right action? What is my next action step? And that is when you're tuning into the gut brain. And the gut brain, by instinct, leads you. You have some tasks probably already written down that you need to do. But when you're in that calm state and you're in the resonance of the heart song and you are reading those tasks, you are going to have a gut instinct on which one to do first. You will. Tune in to your body. Tune in to the three brains. You cannot fail when you stop, pause, ask yourself the important question, shift course correction, say your heart song, get into the feelingness of it, and take that next right action. You will not fail. You will not fail. So let's talk about some practical strategies that will help you embrace these changes. So some things that I coach people on is things like emotional resolution, tapping into the heart song, and all of the physiological aspect of that, because what that does is it shifts us from that state of operation of stress and angst into the peace, into the joy, into the calm confidence, into all of that. So that heart song shifts you from one state to another, one that is really going to help you move forward in your life. And then some other things that we do are mindful practices. So you can do mindful practices that involve stillness, that involve meditation, that involve slow eating to wake up your gut brain. Mindfulness practices that you can do when setting up your habits, new habits that you are wanting to draw into your life. There's a 3-step process to creating habits for good that will stick. And that is another mindful practice. Those kind of practices keep you grounded and rooted. Barefoot walking is another mindful practice. There's so many out there. The love tuner is another mindful practice. There are breathing exercises that are mindfulness practices. There's also journaling exercises. You can do journaling exercises that are around personal growth, but you can also do journaling exercises that are around gratitude. What went well today? Journaling exercises that are where you pour out your heart to find a solution. And the solution is usually written, it's heart dumping. And it's where the solution to whatever is troubling you is usually in the last few sentences of that journaling process. So there's several journaling exercises that you can do to help you embrace these changes. Another tool that I love is Qigong. I love Qigong. That day that I told you that I found myself in the muck puddle and the strategy that I used to get out of it, if I had not done that strategy, then when I went into my Qigong practice, I would have been all over the place and probably wouldn't have been able to finish, because Qigong requires stillness of the mind. And so having practices that you do to still the mind before you go into a Qigong practice are super beneficial. You can do your Qigong practice with your mind rolling and then keep bringing it back to center. I've done that before. But I find Qigong practices so much yummier when I have done one of my practices of the mind training before I ever go in. So you can do Qigong movements, and that Qigong can lead into standing in stillness, seated meditation, and lying meditation. Those bring in physical and emotional balance. I love Qigong. If you have not looked at Qigong before, highly recommend that you look at it. You can contact me, of course, and I can share some of the information that I have about it. But it's a very beautiful practice to help you get centered and rooted, the three brains aligned, and then it's also fun to play with your energy. We are energetic beings, y'all. That's the way we were created. And we are magnetic. And when you learn how to begin to play with that magnetism of you, it is so much fun. It is so much fun. Socrates says the secret of change is to focus all your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Beautiful. So leave behind the angst around the changes. Leave behind what was before. Hold it in your heart, those beautiful memories, but the perfectionism around it, leave it behind you. And step forward into the new and bring your mindful attention on creating a life that you truly, truly, truly love. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me for Ashley's Heart Song. I look forward to seeing you next week as we continue to armor up our lives. I'll see you then.